Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Today, did you know Spalding made tennis rackets? Stay tuned. All right, so coffee sponsor of today is Brett Z. Brett Z writes, "Hi Harry, Brett Z again. Watch your show all religiously. You're the best. Have you reviewed Poji from Strings Advantage? P-O-J-I-E. Haven't heard of that. I got them at a teacher's conference in 2014. Just tried and liked. You know the feel with your confidential, so you would be a good test." I actually haven't heard of that string. Poji, huh? I will definitely take a look at it. Yeah, there's a lot of different string manufacturers that I don't know out there. And yeah, it'd be nice to give them a try and let you guys know how they are. So yeah, I'll definitely see if I can find some. All right, Brett Z, thank you for the coffee. If you want to be my coffee sponsor of the day, network is buymeacoffee.com/tennis spin. You want to just hook up the channel? Super thanks is the way. Link is below. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, there's a lot of manufacturers out there that make strings, and a lot of companies that I probably never even heard of yet that's trying to get into the racket string market. So yeah, thank you for alerting me of some of these. So wanted to talk about something that was part of my childhood. Everybody knows Spalding for basically NBA basketballs, and unfortunately they don't have the licensing for NBA anymore, but forever you equated Spalding with, basketballs and definitely in the NBA. But, Spalding is actually a very iconic company. They started in 1876, and the guy's name was Spalding. They made tennis rackets, golf balls, tennis balls. They were actually a very, very big company in the racket market. In the 20th century, when wooden rackets were dominant, it was Slazenger, Dunlop, Wilson, and Spalding. Obviously there were other brands too, but those were the top four. When I was growing up, I remember seeing like this racket or something that looked like this racket a lot. It was called a Spalding, and it was called a Rebel. It's kind of faded now, but I remember the blue throat here, the metal aluminum frame, the leather grip, and this is a 4.5 L. I remember seeing these everywhere, like Woolworth, Walgreens, Sears, you name it, it was there. And I always looked at it, and obviously I wound up with a wooden racket, but Spalding was kind of part of my childhood. I never really got one as a child. My cousin had something that was similar to this that we played with, just messing around. But I was like, when I saw this, and this is part of my friend Peter Allen's collection that I wound up inheriting, I finally was able to bring it out and check it out. So as you can see, it is a aluminum racket. It is very clean. Hanlon, great match as ever. Oh man, thank you so much. Next week, same time, same bat channel. All right, my buddy Hanlon and I have been playing for over 20 years with each other. I'm so glad that I have found my tennis buddy. And we just happened to kind of started playing, right? So the number one problem with tennis is if you don't have a buddy like Hanlon, you don't play tennis, because I wouldn't have been able to play for 20 years without him. And that's when Play Your Court comes in. There's over 27,000 people registered that you can play with. Just check out playyourcourt.com/tennis spin. There's a tennis buddy waiting for you. What's the string pattern? I think it's 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Wow. 18 by 22. There is a lot of strings in here. And it looks like it's strung with a nylon, like basic nylon. Yeah. Wow, a lot of strings. There's shared holes in here, just like a wooden racket would be. We got shared up here too, shared down here too. Wow, this would probably not be that easy to string, just looking at it from this angle. But enough about the technical aspects of this racket. Let's go out and give it a try. All right, so Coach Rob, Coach Jerod with me today. Do you remember the Spalding Rebel, Coach Rob?
No.
Really?
I remember the blue head, and they had a red head, but I can't say I remember the blue Spalding Rebel.
Really? I feel like when I was growing up in the 70s as a little kid, and maybe I'm definitely eating too much Captain Crunch or whatever, these used to be hanging everywhere. Like literally all the sporting goods stores, the Searses, the Woolworths. Like I feel like I saw this racket everywhere.
Your memory might be way better than mine, Harry.
Okay, all right.
I didn't eat that much Captain Crunch.
Oh crap, okay.
I know.
And I know Coach Jared's too young to even remember this.
No idea.
So I know you've never seen a racket like this before, right?
I've never seen a racket like that before.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just talk about this is my memories, and who knows what I remember. I'll let you hold that. It ain't a Wilson. I'm sorry. Talk to me about how it plays.
Well, after looking at it and recognizing it's got 3 screws that hold the part together in the neck, it felt good. I mean, I've hit with metal rackets growing up, so it wasn't that new of a sensation. I just had to remember to keep my head still because I didn't want to swing and miss and let the ball go past me and hit our photographer. So I was conscious of really just making sure I was keeping my head still at the end. But yeah, it felt good for a metal racket from the 70s. Yeah.
So here's the thing, Coach Rob. This was stiffer than I thought it would be, I think. Right? Did you feel that?
I just kind of was thinking it was going to be metal and it was going to be kind of stiff. Mm-hmm. It's metal. There was no graphite composite back then. There was no any of the things that give you,
okay,
today's feel.
Okay, metal's metal.
Metal's metal.
In your thing.
And we got some really nice, 1970s nylon string in there.
At least we have grommets.
There are some grommets.
Okay.
Yep.
So, and no head guard.
Nope, didn't need it.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's metal.
It's metal.
Okay. All right.
Nice
So-
leather grip.
That's what I was saying. It's actually a very nice. I'm sure that's original too, and it didn't dry out.
Well, it says Spalding, so it's
Yeah.
got to be original.
Mhm.
Did they make replacements?
That
Back
I'm
then, I
not
don't
sure.
remember.
That I'm not sure. I'm sure they had to.
They
have,
probably
right?
did.
Yeah.
Didn't they have like some fairways? Were that a
Yeah.
leather?
Fairway was around. Fairway was around.
Right.
One more question for Coach Rob. Obviously when you think of Spalding, you don't think of tennis rackets.
Correct.
So do you remember Spalding and tennis rackets?
I
guess that's a no.
I would go with no.
Okay. Dang, am I the only one?
I remember, wasn't Spalding, were they did they make the white Wimbledon ball? Was it Spalding? I remember some cans of tennis balls that were Spalding. I think
It
when we
could've
did
been,
we did an old
Yeah,
video
I think
on
you're
old
right.
tennis ball
I think
cans, and
you're
we had
right.
some Spaldings in there.
Yeah.
But I don't remember like equipment.
Okay. All right. Well, give it to the youngin. How did it play, Coach?
Yeah, so the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Spalding, especially for guys my age, it's basketballs. So I was super surprised to see that Spalding made tennis rackets. Yeah, this was an interesting play test, mostly just because I've never really hit a metal racket before. I do have to say it was pretty stiff in the beginning, a little bit interesting in that regard. And then also the throat being super long was also kind of a weird thing for me too. So I think I was having a hard time kind of, I guess, getting the ball in the strings in the beginning. And then it's weird because I thought, with an 18 by 20 string pattern, you'd think that this racket would have tons of control on it. And I think I did find myself spraying a little bit in the beginning. And then once I did dial it down, it did feel a little more controlled and a little bit better in that sense too. And the other thing too is I wasn't really anticipating how flexible this racket was going to be. So I think I was kind of dumping a lot of backhands into the net. The forehand was, I could manipulate my stroke a little bit to get the ball over the court. But yeah, it was kind of an interesting play test, and I guess a fun one as well, just because I've never really hit some of these old school style rackets, and specifically metal. And definitely a cool blast from the past, and give it a try if you have one.
Yeah, this is actually in really good condition. I keep looking at this. I mean, the white's obviously off the Rebel, like I showed you, and the Spalding is worn out. I mean, I guess I'm the only one that has childhood memories of rackets like this.
I remember metal, but I don't remember the Spalding Rebel.
Metal is a generalization. Spalding is I
remember the blue head and the red head.
Okay.
Those are the ones I had.
See, that's what I don't remember, which is weird. Maybe I gravitated towards this blue, and that's what I remember.
Right.
It could have been that. But, super fun play test. Not as flexible as I thought it would be. It's actually stiffer than I thought it would be. Decent amount of power. I actually was able to slice. It plowed through very well. I like the weight. I mean, if you see one of these for $1, I'd definitely pick it up. Just, if it's in this kind of a shape especially. But it's definitely fun to, and very nostalgic, at least for me.
Me as well.
to try rackets like this. But yeah, super fun play test. I'm glad you guys got to, share my memories, a little bit.
Well, I like seeing how Jerod got to play with it because, you and I are very close in age.
Yep.
And,
Yeah, Jerod actually did well with it. I mean, the first couple backhands he netted, but he figured
we
it
may
out
cut
after
that
a
off.
while.
We don't want to show Jerod missing.
I'm going to show you something on the floor here. That means it's stiff. That means it's actually pretty stiff for being a metal racket. So, yeah.
Is that a scientific thing or is that the School of Harry?
The School of Harry.
Okay.
Because when I hit it and it flexes so much that it doesn't push the ball down for the next bounce,
Right.
then it's super flexible.
Okay, so it's not operator.
It's
the
not.
racket.
No. There's some rackets it will not come up. It will not come up.
I'm getting lost.
I'll show you in another video when it's too flexible. Okay. Was this some kind of stiffness joke or something, or what?
It seems to have gone there. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach Rob. Thank you, Coach Rob, for joining me today. We'll pass it over to Jerod, and we'll We'll see if we can find him on Instagram. Where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at ModTennis.
All right, as we finish our slapstick humor here, thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.